My name is Primož Skubic, I'm from EDISTI and from the group AdriaBIM, and today is with me a special guest, Douglas Cordeiro. He's working at CYPE. Hello, Mr. Douglas.
Hi, Primož, good to be here with you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, I'm the international business developer for CYPE in the European region. So we've been here for the ASCII JD event that we had in Rogaška Slatina, and that's why we're here in Slovenia this time.
So what is your feedback from this conference of these constructors from Slovenia?
Yeah, it was a very nice conference. It was good talking to Slovenian engineers and seeing that BIM is still a challenge to be tackled, but there are options, actual options for them to solve the problem of BIM and to be up to the task that is ahead. It's actually a mandatory task here in Slovenia because the government is also pushing it in that direction, and I think that there are some good perspectives in the future for Slovenia. And I also wanted to show what my company CYPE Software is doing to help your country in that direction, and that I think we got the message through and people liked it. I think it was a very good experience in the meeting.
So were you surprised when we get an answer when we ask them what is BIM and they were saying to us that this is 3D?
Oh yes, that's not surprising at all, in the sense that it's a common challenge. So my speech was about the top 4 challenges for BIM adoption, and I think that's the main challenge, the main problem that we face, and that's pervasive to every country that we were working on. So CYPE is present in all 5 continents, and we have a widespread presence with hundreds of thousands of users, and we know that BIM adoption has some challenges. It's easier said than done. So people actually say, oh yes, we have to embrace BIM, we want to start using BIM, but actually doing it is difficult. And it's difficult because they understand it wrongly. Because they think it's 3D modeling. So that's why I was telling them yesterday that one of the main challenges, the first challenge that we talked about yesterday, was that people confuse building information modeling with building modeling. So they just think that you're going to work with your Excel file, with your CAD software or whatever, and then send the information to a BIM modeler, in the end, a 3D modeler, and that's not the solution for BIM. BIM should be something much more productive, should be something that helps you. And what happens in reality is that people end up working double.
So for me it was interesting because I was also listening you and also the other presentations. I think that you wake up the people with the fresh energy
Yes.
because you become interesting because some parts of the engineering parts and myself, I don't know, the calculation and everything could be boring, yeah. But you bring, you know, the whole workflow, and you were not boring explaining BIM.
Yeah, I think that it was interesting because people are interested in BIM. Everybody has heard about it. They know they have to move in that direction. They just don't know how to do it, and our company is trying to do something about it. So. When we talked about BIM, we talked about 4 challenges. Then we said, okay, first of all, people confuse building information modeling with building modeling, which would be 3D modeling. They don't have specialized tools. So the tools are made for the modelers and not for the actual engineers, the people who are doing the specialist work. They don't have an open workflow, BIM workflow, where you can collaborate with other softwares, and they also lack all the deliverables. That's where the 4 points that we were talking about. And once you start talking about, okay, our company has actually been providing some solutions for this, and that we are, like, for many years, we already have a common data environment, which is BIM Service Center, you know about it, which is free for everybody, and that we are trying to actually push the BIM adoption forward, to help engineers adopt BIM and to make the interface. So we have specialist tools, as I told you before, and we have over 150 different softwares. And the idea is that we have like softwares that are more simple to use, more focused on the specialist. And those guys, when they see that, they say, okay, I could do that. I could actually... So there's a natural interest, and when they see the option to move forward, and when they see the option to solve, I think that was what caught the attention of everybody during the presentation.
I also recognize because before when we talk about CYPE solutions, yes. Also to the architects, they said, okay, we have ArchiCAD, we have Revit, and this is it. So we can do in Revit whatever you want. So we don't need CYPE solution. So yeah. After your presentation, I think that you opened their mind. It was like a brainstorming, and they start thinking, okay, on the beginning, yeah, sure. So we are getting this. How to get it into CYPE? It's easy. So when you have it inside, we can continue, I don't know, with the steel or like we have a CYPE structure and with the concrete and everything, then we can continue in map. All the time here is analyzing, because usually, as I know here in Slovenia, architects are not doing analyzing things. So now they're thinking maybe we can close everything this in our company. So why outsourcing?
Yes,
but with the help of CYPE, yeah.
I hope I managed to make them think a little, and I think what makes them think is that we have a different approach to the modeling market for engineers, and the thing is they're used to having like some very big tools made for the modeler, as I told you before. So these tools take months for you to learn how to use it, and then you need a specialist, someone who actually knows all the software. And we try to do something which is modularized in smaller software, and which is very simple to learn how to use. And that's something that for one side helps a lot to do very special jobs, like a specialist, the specialist job, and also helps you cover all the spectrum without being overwhelming. So I think the analogy would be like when you have your phone, you take your phone, you don't have one single app. Let's say you had one single app in your phone and you have to set the alarm clock. That's really hard, because you have to look, where's the alarm? So this is not something important, so where's the alarm here? So to set an alarm, it would take you a long time to find where it is and to put the alarm for tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. When you open your phone, there are hundreds of apps. You just click the app, there's a simple interface, and to set the alarm clock is really simple. So when we speak to some architects, as you told before, they have this idea that the BIM software should be very complex and have everything inside one single software. And when they see our approach, which is a different approach, they are surprised by it, and they have to rethink their approach and see, oh, this is actually much more effective. This is actually much, so you have different tools and they all collaborate together. That's something that I haven't thought of before. I thought that you needed to have one huge tool that does everything in one final tool. And that makes them think, as you said before. They makes them, okay, this is interesting. I haven't heard about this. I want to see this new approach that looks like much more productive.
I also see that when we appear there in this conference, and we get also the interest of the universities for the engineering, so from Ljubljana, from Maribor. But not only that, the organizer was the Institute of Engineers in Slovenia. They are also start thinking, so we have a lot of members. So yeah, we want to be a part of, if I can say, a CYPE family, something like that. So if I'm short, so what do you think about it?
I think it was great to have these relationships either with the architects, the engineers, and also the public institutions here in Slovenia, that we are in contact with them, we are reaching agreements, and we want to move forward. So as I told you, all my presentation yesterday was focused on telling them, okay, these are some challenges that we see all over the world. We are present in many countries, and we are doing it for 40 years, so we know what happens. We know the common stones that everybody trips in that stone. So we want to avoid this. And what my company is doing to help you avoid these common problems. And that's sort of great conversation that I think is going to move forward, either with universities, with actual engineers and companies who are doing the job, and with the government that is trying to look for ways to move for the BIM adoption.
And also a lot of visitors were asking me, you have a lot of competitors here. I said, okay, with CYPE? And they said, yes. I said, I don't think so. So in these days, I don't think that the thinking to have some kind of competitor, maybe to have more tools or more solutions that altogether are better. So in this case with CYPE, I don't see. So you can every time
I think
add
it's a
CYPE
different
as a
approach.
solution.
As far as I see, I believe that we are unique, and at the same time we do have lots of competitors, people who are trying to do the same thing. The thing that I think that makes the difference is that we have a different approach. So we have a unique position in the market. So, and we are focused in a specific target. So I had a question yesterday. Somebody told me, okay, why don't you have more focus on your software in control? And I said, okay, we are mainly focused on productivity. It looks like, okay, control productivity, why should they be in clash? So if you focus on the bigger companies, they don't care about actually productivity. They can hire many people to do the job, and they can take months for them to learn how to use it or whatever.
Some monitoring or something like that.
As long as they have control over it, as long as they have reports and control over it, they like it. We are mainly focused on the smaller and medium companies who have fewer engineers and who need more productivity. They need to move on. They need to be able to do bigger projects, faster projects with few engineers. And that's our focus. We're trying to help to empower those people. And what I feel that's happening in the market is that you have the feeling that to adopt BIM, you have to be a very big company. You have to pay for many expensive licenses. You have to take months to learn how to use the software. You need a BIM manager. You have to outsource things. It's very complicated. And when we show smaller companies, you can be in the BIM revolution. You can actually do it yourself with 3 engineers in a company or 5 engineers or whatever. You can just do your job as always, and you will get a 3D model, and you will collaborate together, and it's going to be faster to work with all the typical projects that you have. So that's the main difference that I think we are different in the market. Even though we have competitors, we are not actually competing in the same playing field. We're trying to do something different.
So also how you see that, I don't know, our company do his homework in this conference. So do you see that we can do it more? What are your experiences?
Your company, you mean AdriaBIM?
Yes.
I think AdriaBIM is a great collaborator for us. I see that you have a great team that is actively promoting and giving support to people locally here, and who are representing our company in a very professional manner. And that's something that prides us to be in contact with you, to be collaborating with you, because I think AdriaBIM is a company that has a great future, and that has a great story also, and that delivers very good service to the customers. Yes. So we try in CYPE to have better support than our competitors, because we think that's something that is great for the customers, that actually opens the market for people, because they have to adopt BIM, and they actually have fear of, okay, they will not give support, they only answer my email or whatever, and we try to give them actual support to see, oh, this is not going to be difficult. Trust me, We'll help you do your projects, and we'll help you get it done.
Yeah, then it's easier.
And we can do that with my team. We have our team from CYPE to help it, but we also trust a lot in AdriaBIM to do the local support, which is absolutely necessary, both because of the use of local language and also because of the proximity to actually be in contact, direct contact with the company and help them with their project.
I also get in my mind now another one question which I cannot leave it as it is. So we were also asking them about BIM haters and BIM lovers. So this, for me, is this very important because you have very good explanation about this topic.
Well, I think all BIM haters don't understand what is BIM. That's a strong stance, but I'll try to explain myself. I think people who hate BIM, they think 3D modeling is BIM, and 3D modeling is not BIM. BIM is everybody working together and collaborating and sharing the information in real time. So we are, in the end, you get a final project, a final model, which has all our common information, and that makes all our lives easier. That's what we try to do in CYPE. That's what we do with the BIM Server Center, which is for free for everybody. You can collaborate different informations, and we are all notified about the changes, and it's much easier and faster for me to work with BIM than without BIM. So people think, okay, this is too difficult, this is too expensive, and it's just double the work. And what we try to show is that you have half the work, it's not expensive, we have like competitive prices, and also we keep the software modularized, so the interface is super simple. And we had a case here in Slovenia with a customer. He told us, oh, he was doing his first project within 4 hours of using the software. He said, this is unheard of for me, because he's used to be like, okay, I have a new engineering software, it takes me months for me to learn how to do my first project. And he started using the software. He said, okay, this is so easy for me to understand, so intuitive for me to understand.
So it's engineering solution, he said.
The thing is, I think the main thing that happens to CYPE, that has happened to CYPE, is that CYPE was not made by some software engineers who were thinking, oh, how can I make money? And okay, let's design this software for engineers, civil engineers, and see, okay, do this and that, and they'll like it. CYPE started with actual civil engineers who started looking for solutions for themselves and then for their peers. So all the approach is so pragmatic, it's so like trying to solve the daily problems of engineers, and it's pervasive. So we've been doing this for 40 years. This has been the approach from the beginning, and all our software is super pragmatic. It's always thinking, okay, in the daily work of the engineer, we'll need this and we'll need that. So all our directors, they are all civil engineers, and they know, they've worked before in different companies, in different projects, and they know what an engineer is thinking and what he needs, and they focus on that. They just focus on that. And I think that's the difference, the main difference.
Okay, for the end, I would just ask you if you have some message for our audience or maybe our new potential customers for CYPE. Okay,
that's a difficult one. So my message for all the engineers in Slovenia would be that we are trying to work with you. We're actually committing ourselves to Slovenia. We know that Slovenia needs to move forward towards the BIM revolution, and that you are doing your best to try to adopt BIM and to be more productive, and we will do our best to help you. We, as one of the biggest software developers for engineers in Europe, we are actively working both with the Slovenian government and also with the Slovenian engineers to try to bring some actual solutions for the needs of the engineering community in Slovenia. And I think that's not only a promise, that has been shown in our actions and in all what we're trying to do here in Slovenia.
Great. So I would thank you that you be my special guest, Mr. Douglas.
Thank you so much.
So for all others, that was the interview with Mr. Douglas from CYPE. And don't forget, we design your future.